Acknowledging the good that you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. You see, what has helped me in hard times was gratitude, being grateful for what I have, looking at what I have and appreciating that. Whenever I was stressed about something, in school, outside of school, any kind of situation, it has always helped me. There was never once a situation where being grateful for what I had, acknowledging the things that I already have, being grateful for them, never once did that not help me to step back a little bit, look at the big picture. It might not solve, most of the time it didn't solve my problems, but it has definitely made them better, you see. And also gratitude prayer with acceptance, accepting the cards that I've been dealt and playing the best that I can with them. Let me just tell you a great story that really showed me the lesson of gratitude, how great it is to be grateful and that you can always be grateful for something. About 2 months ago, with some people that I know, we went for a hike here in Romania to this great mountain, you see. I mean, it wasn't that high, but it was pretty high, and it has this great, like, how do you call it? A creek, this crag, between two mountains. It's very beautiful, and it was a great weather, amazing time. It was very fun, you see. We hiked up around the mountain and beautiful stuff. You see, I might put up some pictures. Beautiful. And I even looked, if you know I'm interested in climbing, if you have watched some of the other videos on my channel, and there were like some stuff there that you could, clip your rope into and put those things on there. I don't know the terminology. You see, and I thought about climbing those. How cool that would be. And you see, as we got up to the top, I mean, not the full top of the mountain, but as we got up, I started getting some kind of stomachache. See, well, I thought it was a stomachache. I was thinking maybe I ate something bad. It wasn't that bad. And as we started going down the mountain, it started getting worse and worse and worse. And eventually, when we did get down, like it got pretty severe. Like it was actually hurting. Like it was pretty bad. You see, I was thinking that maybe I ate something bad. You see, so I forced myself to throw up. I stuck some fingers down my throat and I threw up. That didn't help. And you see, the interesting thing was that I was also cold. And I was sweating and I was actually cold even though it was warm outside. So I knew that something was off. So you see, and I laid down, but it didn't get any better. So we headed back home, and while the drive home was pretty bad. Like I was half sleeping, half awake throughout the ride, and it was pretty painful. Like I didn't even know how to sit, to make it less worse, but it was very bad. You see, when we got home, it still didn't get any better. So that's when we decided to head to the hospital, and that's when it like really kicked in. Like it started getting pretty bad. Like it was probably one of the worst pains that I have ever experienced in my life. I'm not even joking. It was awful. So we got in the hospital and they did some checks on my stomach to see what was the problem. And it turns out my appendix exploded. I mean, it didn't explode, but it got inflated, and that was the problem. It was that little thing at the end of your guts that was causing all of that problem. It just inflated out of nowhere. And they told me that they have good news and bad news. And the good news was, okay, they found the problem. Bad news, you need a surgery. And I was like, ooh, okay. And that was a pretty, I mean, it was a shock, but it actually excited me. It also was a relief that, okay, they found the problem, they can fix it, I can get through this pain. But you see, I never had a surgery before. I had no idea what to expect. So you see, they drew some blood for me, they hooked me up to one of these things, I don't know what it's called, but it hangs from one of these poles and some kind of fluid drips into you. They hooked me up with one of those and I had to sign a bunch of papers, and all the while I was in extreme pain. Like I was, cold, I was very cold actually, that was very interesting, and I was sweating and I was in great pain. And how do I had to sign all those papers, and I just couldn't wait to get it over with. And then, after waiting for quite a while, they brought me into the operating station or whatever, the operating room, and they put me to sleep. I don't know, what did they give me? I think they gave me fentanyl or something. And I was actually very interested, like, how would that experience be? You know, when they gave it to me, what I noticed, I mean, it was just like falling asleep. And what I noticed is I actually felt really calm. It was an interesting experience. I can't put it into words, anyways. So I went to sleep, they did the operation, the surgery went great, nothing bad went wrong. And the next day I woke up, everything was alright. And yeah, it was a pretty crazy experience. And then after that, I had to stay in the hospital for one night. So I stayed there for one day, slept one night there, and then I got home the next day. And it was a pretty crazy experience, and it all happened pretty fast, you see. And but all of this, it made me so grateful, because let me just tell you some of the things that also happened. You see, we called the doctor that we knew, and by the way, there was some kind of event, some kind of how do you say this? I don't know, some kind of event. You know, it was then like work day or something like that, where basically like everyone got some kind of a vacation for that day, and there was no school. Most of the people got off work. We called the doctor so that maybe he could come in to actually do the surgery and see what's up, because well, we know him and he's a great doctor. And he actually came in, like, it was late in the night. Like, it was, I mean, not that late, but it was like 10 p.m. or not 9 p.m. And he actually came in. And what was interesting, that he didn't drink anything at all, because it's common to drink on those days. He didn't drink anything at all, and he came in on his day off. So I'm truly grateful for that. And also another thing was that I didn't have this kind. I don't know what is the surgery called, but I didn't have the surgery where they like cut up a huge line, you know, like a smiley face on your stomach, because that could have happened. But very luckily, the appendix didn't inflate that much, so they could do one of these operations where they cut three separate places on my stomach. They cut three separate places, and they didn't have to do like a whole big cut, so it healed much faster. But you see, the thing was that it was very close, my appendix was very close to inflating too much, and them needing to cut a huge line to get that appendix out. So it was very close. It was like a couple of minutes or tenths of minutes, 20 minutes. It was very close to getting at that point. Or a couple of hours, I'm not sure. So I'm also very grateful for that. And also, you see, you know, being there at the hospital, it made me so grateful for the basic things that I had, you know, sleeping in my own bed. Like, that feels so good right now. Because at the hospital, you know, there were all other people around. And you know, there was this old guy next to me, and he used to watch the TV a whole bunch, you know, the news, and it did annoy me quite a lot. And I don't know what was up with that old man, but he did so many crazy shit. I mean, we were there at the hospital, and out of nowhere, he just like pulls out that thing, you know, that drips the fluid into his arm. They just pulled it out. I was like, what is this guy doing here? And you know, the nurses came in and said, what are you doing? And all of that. And then, you know, when we needed to go to sleep, he just like, out of nowhere, like, gets up and opens the door and looks out and all of that. He clogged the door from the inside, which we should never do in a hospital. Because if something goes wrong, how are the nurses supposed to come in? And they were all, and then the nurses eventually came in, you know, knocking on the door while I was trying to sleep. And you see, and also the nurse that went out just left the door open, and you saw the light was coming in from the outside, and all the noises you see was also coming in from the outside of the hospital, and it was pretty hard to sleep at that night. So I'm very grateful that I can, for the simple fact that I can have a good sleep at night. It made me so grateful for that. And also for the fact that I can eat food. Because for like 2 days I couldn't really eat anything. And I got my nutrients and all of that from those drains, you see, the thing that was stuck in my hand. So it made me so grateful for the very simple fact that I can eat food. And after that surgery I had to do some kind of diet, you see. Not eat anything that really inflated my belly. So it really made me so grateful that it all went right, you know, that we got there in time, that the surgery went right, that the doctor came there in time, that I only had to stay there for one night, because they could have kept me in. It was very possible that they could have kept me in there for 3 nights. So I'm so grateful that everything was alright. You see, and it really made me appreciate, the very simple fact that I'm here, that I'm home. Yeah, it was so nice, you see. So this experience really made me grateful to really appreciate what I have. And gratitude really helped me to get through that hospital. You see, even when I was in the hospital, I was just very grateful for being here, being still alive. Also, for that everything went right. Yeah, gratitude really helped me to get through that. And as I said before, it also made me realize afterwards just how lucky I am, to be able to walk. Like, because at the time it was pretty hard to me for walk also, but it really made me grateful for everything, and made me realize just how lucky I am. And then you see, yeah, it was a great experience. It made me very grateful for everything that I had. It also made me realize that just how easily we can get lost in so many trivial stuff in life. You see, oh, what did he say? He said this and that. So many trivialities. But one of these experiences really shakes you up, you see, and makes you realize that, man, this is a whole bunch of bullshit. That just be grateful for what you have. Enjoy every day, freely, because so many trivialities we can get so hung up on. You see, and get angry over so many small stuff. So this also made me realize this. And by the way, let me just introduce myself. Also, my name is Nagodin, and I make videos about things that I'm interested in, mainly philosophy, things that I'm learning about, sharing the lessons standard. I also make videos about climbing, so hope you enjoy. So then I really recommend you to practice gratitude more often, because I truly think it is the antidote to bitterness and complaining, you see. And it has always helped me, and I think that it's important to remind ourselves frequently, because we can so easily get used to the amazing things that we have in our lives, to the people that we have in our lives, to the very fact that we have, running water, we have electricity, the sun is shining, there are beautiful flowers and trees around us, we have people around us, that we have food to eat, a shelter, a place to sleep at. We take these for granted, but these are huge things. The fact that you have a fridge. I mean, just imagine how hard would it be to, especially now it's summertime, to keep your eggs fresh so that they don't spoil. Let's say with the meat, the milk, and all of that stuff. I mean, it would be very hard. You see that the fact that you got a washing machine, that you don't have to wash things by hands, your clothes, but you have a machine that does that for you, and we just take these for granted. Or the fact that we got public transport, you got a bike or you got a car, and you don't have to walk anywhere, you can get by horse or something like that. I mean, how crazy all of this is. Most of us are living like kings, really. Like medieval. We're living better than medieval kings, but we look over these things. We get used to all of this. Because you see, the thing is that all constant stimulation of consciousness becomes unconscious. That you just stop noticing after a while. I mean, for example, you don't notice how your clothes feel, how it feels on your skin, that it's touching your skin, but it's because it's touching it constantly. And just in the same way, we don't notice all of the blessings that we have because we get used to it. We stop noticing it after a while because it's all around us. We use it every single day. And you see, one of the most basic things that we take for granted is the very fact that we're alive, the very fact that we're conscious. Our own consciousness, that we're aware. We just take it for granted. We don't even notice it. Because you see, it's the most precious gift that we have. The fact that we're aware. I mean, for example, let me just ask you this. If you could be, if you could have anything that you want, absolutely anything, rich, fame, money, or love, everything, fulfillment, but you wouldn't be conscious, would you take that deal? You wouldn't be aware. No one would take that deal. It is the most precious thing that we have, yet we just take it for granted. We overlook it. So you can also be grateful for that. Grateful for the fact that you're alive. for the fact that you're conscious, that you have this great experience of life. And as we said before, most of the time we already have everything that we need. We are living better than medieval people. We have better medicine, better food, access to all sorts of things. You see, and most of our lives we don't really need anything more than we have easy access to. We don't need it, but we sure want it. We sure crave all sorts of stuff. But gratitude brings you back to this moment and makes you realize, appreciate all the things that you have right now. So you see, I really advise you, I think that's a great idea to practice gratitude more often throughout your days, maybe even daily. I mean, for example, in the morning, I always express gratitude. You see, I always think to myself, count some things that I'm grateful for, or remember back to story that made me very grateful. For example, remember back to my surgery. And it's such a great way to start off your day. So you could do things like writing some things down that you're grateful for, or you can even tell the people around you how grateful for. And actually express gratitude, write a letter or something like that. That's also amazing. Another great way to express gratitude is to tell yourself a story of gratitude that you had. When someone expressed to you genuine gratitude that they felt towards you, and remember back to those stories, that can also help a lot. Now, as an actionable step, I guess you didn't see that coming, an actionable step, express gratitude to someone. And I will also do this after this video, and I guarantee you, I will express gratitude to someone. I will write maybe some kind of message or a letter to someone, saying how grateful I am for them. And I guess I could challenge you also, but I recommend you also to do this, to express gratitude to someone after you watch this video, because you will also feel better, and the other person will also feel appreciated. So I think that gratitude is one of the key components to happiness, and the antidote to bitterness and suffering and complaining. So I really advise you. I think it's absolutely great. Gratitude and acceptance, accepting what you've been dealt, the cards that you've been dealt, accepting your situations, because you really can't really do anything about it. I mean, accepting it and then doing the best that you can about it. So thank you for being here. If you're interested in doing free one-on-one calls, you can send me an email in the description, and we'll arrange a video call, and we can have a chat. So if you're interested, email in the description. And so thank you for being here. You can leave a comment if you want to. I'm always excited to read the comments. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day, and goodbye.